So, this video will be quite controversial, but I don't care. Atheists who talk about slavery, or anyone who talks about slavery within the context of the Bible, they're always like, oh, well, how could God do such things? Oh my God, this, that, and the third. It's funny. How could God do these things? Oh my God. Anyways, so there's two different viewpoints. One is saying, well, God doesn't exist because of this. How could God do these things? I don't want to believe in God. That's not a logical reason for denying God's existence. That's purely an emotional one. God can do whatever he wants, and he will still exist. God can strike me down with lightning right now. God can burn down the earth. He still exists. It doesn't matter whether or not you think what he does is right or wrong. So that's the first thing. Second of all, they try saying, well, and they try doing it the other way too. As far as evidential, like how can an all-loving, all this, that, and the third do this such a thing? So they try making it a logical issue, saying it's inconsistent. However, that doesn't work either, because when you say that, it's too presumptuous. So they're trying to say, like, well, if God existed, then he would do it like this. On what basis? It begs the question. You would need to be able to prove that if God did exist, then he would do it like this, right? How would you do that? It's a subjective thing. Maybe all of this, slavery, whatever happened in the Bible, was for the greater good. It was the greater good for God's purpose. You can't make, I can say that, and you could say it's not, right? It's not good. I could say it is good. We both have the same amount of evidence. There's no objective foundation for this counterclaim. It's just arbitrary. And then the other thing I'll address, and something I'll go over a bit more, is Christians who are like, well, it wasn't actually slavery. No. Slavery wasn't in the Bible. It's taken out of context. You don't understand. No. It's not like slavery. To them, I say, why be such a wuss? It was. Who cares? There's no command to enslave others now as Christians. I mean, to me, this seems more of like a Jewish issue than our issue. Because if you're going to talk about slavery and start quoting, well, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, I mean, those are Old Testament passages. That's Mosaic law. We don't follow those anymore. There's no command in the New Testament saying, well, you should own slaves. If anything, I would say now that we have the command to love your neighbor, I would say at this point in society, loving your neighbor, if you do love your neighbor, you won't be able to enslave them. However, we have to understand that that is subjective. That varies by society. But I would say most of the world right now would agree. If you really love someone, you wouldn't enslave them. Most of the world agrees on that. So this isn't really an objective thing. There's no command saying, do not enslave. There's also no command saying to enslave. So it's to our own judgment. I say, like I said, if left to our own judgment, if we do love someone, we're not going to enslave them. So that's how I would deal with the issue. I wouldn't say, well, it wasn't actually slavery, because it was slavery. There's no getting around it. Read the passages. Read where it says, do not enslave your own people, enslave others. Is that another? So slavery is not a good reason to deny God's existence, and slavery is not something that you should shy away from as a Christian. It happened, own it.